This is my banana box of documents having to do with the execution of my family. Banana box documents. This is one document. One. Look at how thick it is. 247 pages. That's one document. These are all statements. And these are all locations and documents. This is a tiny fraction of what is available to those who have access to all the documents. This is not even all the documents that I've requested. I am only one person. I can't possibly read all this stuff. I can't go through it. If only you knew how frustrating it was to look at these documents and know that there's going to be some answers have to be in here, and know that you can't possibly go through it all. It's been brought to my attention that some of you guys don't like me. Well, none of you actually know me. I didn't know any of you before this happened. And while I am very grateful for the amount of time that people have spent putting this together, as far as I know, nobody has spent more time than Seamus. And I am actually very grateful that a lot of people follow his channel. Although I think it's a combination of people who are being entertained, because it's like a real life murder mystery right in your own backyard, and so you're trying to keep up on it. Other people are being paid by the government, paid by whoever, to keep track of what's going on there. Other people are there trying to find out what Seamus knows for their own purposes. And I definitely do think that there are some people who are there trying to help, and other family members who are there trying to find out what happened to their families and see if anybody can give some insight, because God knows this Mass Casualty Commission is severely lacking. Like I said, I don't know anyone who's put in more time than Seamus. If you don't like me, that's really inconsequential. It really is. First of all, consider that you don't know me. You may have spent a few hours on the phone with me here or there. You may have met up with me at a march. You don't know anything about me. You don't know anything about what I've been through. Most of you can't actually imagine what it's like to have your family executed the way our families were executed. And you certainly can't imagine how, after your family was executed, you were excluded from everything. Kicked out of the family groups on Facebook. Next of kin that should go to me for my brother, who I have been. I mean, Aaron and I have been brother and sister for more than 30 years. because our mom put him up for adoption doesn't mean anything to the relationship that he and I had. Emily and my daughter, and me and Jolene, I've known her the entire time her and Aaron were together. So to say that these aren't my family members is appalling. And I know that a lot of you people in the chat and watching Seamus's channel, you talk to other family members. You interact with them on Facebook pages. But so far as I know, not a single one of you has bothered to stand up for me and say that you think I should be included in all this stuff. Nobody wants to put their neck out and say, hey, how would you feel if your family member was executed? Family members, plural, and everybody kept you out of everything. Even on the Mass Casualty Commission, I'm not listed as family. I mean, so many people know who I am. Why doesn't anybody say anything? When the news reporter doxed me and lied about me, everybody said they were mad. People can write letters about all sorts of other things, but nobody bothered to write any letters or stand up for me in regards to that. I mean, a few people mouthed off on Seamus's channel in the chat. A couple people got mad over the phone, in my presence over the phone, so I would know they were mad, but you don't do anything about it. This is a picture of Aaron, our mom, and myself that was taken at Christmas time many years ago. And Aaron had Emily's picture superimposed in it because he wanted her to be in our family picture, because he thought she and I looked so much alike. Anyone who knew Aaron knew how much he loved me. All you have to do is read his text messages to me for the last however many years we've been text messaging and Facebook messaging. So if you don't like me, does that really matter? What does that mean? Does that mean that my family doesn't matter? Or does it mean that because you think you don't like me based on not knowing me at all, that I should be excluded from this? Just put yourself in that position for 1 minute. Any of you who have half siblings, step siblings, step parents, how would you feel if your people were taken from you and you weren't allowed to be a part of anything that has to do with grieving? And let's not forget here that as much as you guys look to Seamus for the thousands of hours of research that guy has put into this case, many of you have screwed him. You've taken information that he dug and passed it on to people who claimed it to be their own information. Some of you definitely appreciate what Seamus does, but Seamus is here because he's a good guy and he wants to find out what happened. But he wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for me, because he's my friend. And you all know what kind of a good guy Seamus is. So if I was as bad as you like to make me out to be, why would he be friends with me? You know he's a good guy. He's not going to be friends with somebody he can't trust. Right? There's been a number of people throughout this horrible situation who he thought he could trust and who he doesn't speak to anymore. He still speaks to me, because he can trust me. You may not like my opinions on stuff. You most probably don't understand my sense of humor, and you definitely don't know who I am, because who you've seen, who you have had any experience with, is a person whose family was murdered. The cops are covering it up. The extended family and lawyers have kicked me out of the group altogether. So you don't know anything about what it's like to be in my shoes at all. But if you think that being in those shoes, you would do a better job at being a better person than me, well, you know what? Good for you. I hope you never have to find out what it's like to be in my shoes. But if you just don't like me, that's fine. I don't care. But it doesn't mean that my family doesn't deserve justice and that I deserve to be treated like shit. And if you think that it does mean that, go fuck yourself. And if you're over on Seamus's channel talking about trying to find out the truth and support for the families and blah, 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 but you haven't mentioned anything about the ill treatment of myself, then I don't know what to call that. Is virtue signaling maybe? That you can't be bothered to stand up for somebody? Don't forget that if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have Seamus. If you have a family member that has been murdered in this, family member, friend, the reason that this is getting so much attention is because of Seamus. So just consider where you would be if he if he wasn't my friend. If he didn't do this because he and I are friends, your family wouldn't be getting, or your friends, or this situation would not be getting the attention that it's getting. So because of me, you are getting help. How is it that you're not going to be bothered to help me? You're getting all kinds of help. You're getting all kinds of support. Where are you for speaking out for me? I've spoke out. I've spoke out about people not saying 23. I don't even know the Beaton family, but I don't think it's fair that they can't have their unborn baby acknowledged. I haven't heard anybody say that they don't think it's fair that I'm not acknowledged. I haven't heard anyone say it. I haven't seen anybody put up a stink in any of the Facebook groups. I haven't heard anybody say anything about it on the Mass Casualty Commission. I don't even know what to say. The fact that you wouldn't do the right thing simply because what little you know of me you don't like doesn't mean I get to. Maybe the reason I'm so pissy all the time and so have such a shitty attitude is because my family got murdered and I'm on the outside of it. Maybe it's because I see all the little barbecues going on and all the group get-togethers on Facebook and I'm not part of it. And maybe it's because I see not all of you, but some of you mingling and interacting with each other, coming over to Seamus's channel and getting all the information that you can get, taking it and using it to your advantage and not trying to help me with being acknowledged. Maybe some of your actions could be why I'm so fucking cranky all the time. I don't know what to say. I'm kind of ranting. I am irritated that 2 years later, you guys are still, nobody's standing up for me. Hopefully this never happens to any of you guys. And hopefully if it does, somebody will actually stand up for you and do the right thing. If you have, written letters on my behalf, or if you have posted on your Facebook page or on the family Facebook page asking why I'm not included, then this message isn't for you. But if you're over here trying to gather all the information that Seamus has worked on, Seamus and I have worked on, and people in the background who have done a ton of work in the background at great risk to themselves. If you're over here doing it and you don't want to stick your neck out to help someone who's being very extremely mistreated, then I don't know what to say. You're just a virtue signaler. Especially if you're somebody who wants to stand up for the rights of other people and to do what's right and all the political correct nonsense that you push on about, but you won't stand up for me when it's clear that I am being totally ostracized, mistreated, and beyond, then your words mean nothing. You're just somebody who wants other people to think you're offended on behalf of the right guy, the right person. Anyway, I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore, but it is fucking ignorant. I put my face out here. I was doxed by the media. Nobody bothered to write any letters, express it. Actually, that's not true. My friend, people who knew me before this know the kind of person that I am, right? The kind of person who takes in people to live with them when they don't have anywhere to go. The kind of person who takes in stray animals on the regular basis just to make sure that they have somewhere to go, right? And I'm not tooting my own horn or anything, but you might not like my sense of humor or my point of view, but I'm a kind person. I'm a good person, and I do what's right. And I do what's right even for people I don't like. And if you can't do the same thing, then, well, shame on you.